Stephen Miller battles Jake Tapper on false media narrative about federal aid freeze. The media know exactly what they're doing. They're playing these deceitful games by pretending like people that are on SNAP and other government programs, individuals are gonna end up losing federal aid when that is not true. It's clearly stated in his executive order who's gonna get whose aid is gonna get frozen and things like that. But the media is just trying to stir up things and trying to pretend it says things that the executive order actually doesn't say. It's not working because if anyone actually look at the executive order, it says explicitly who's being what aid is being frozen. So this is so deceitful, and Jake Tapper knows he's being deceitful when he's arguing with Stephen Miller about it. So we're gonna play the clip. We're also gonna play the clip from the five, and get their take on it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. Has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from Fox News. White House Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller locked horns with CNN host Jake Tapper on Tuesday, arguing liberal news organizations have misrepresented the Trump administration's freeze of certain federal funds. The Office of Management and Budget issued a memo on Monday pausing all federal grant and loan inconsistent with the president's executive orders to eradicate wokeness and the weaponization of government. It's simple. However, a White House official told Fox News Digital that the memo was initially misreported and does not constitute a funding freeze on federal financial assistance across the board, and never mentioned anything about federal financial assistance for individuals. And they know that. So let's just play the clip here. Here we go.
I can't help it if left-wing media outlets published a fake news story that caused confusion. If you read the OMB guidance memo, it is, well, if you read the OMB guidance memo,
I don't know what
it's as clear as day.
We just talked to Congressman Don Bacon, a Republican, a Trump supporter. We just interviewed him. He said that there was a lot of confusion. He said that the executive order
created by the media, Jake. The OMB guidance memo, if you read it, is as clear as day.
It's pretty
my point is,
and confusingly written. Parts of it are about DEI, parts of it are all disbursement. It is.
Yeah, DEI.
He act like people can't read. It says who the aid is not. It says exactly whose it is. Who's gonna get frozen? Is these? It didn't say anything about individuals. I mean, these people are so deceitful. So deceitful.
That is correct.
Right, no, I'm just saying, like, it's kind of all over the map, and there is confusion, and it's not just liberal media.
Jake, tell me.
Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski said.
You're not understanding what I'm saying.
But
I'm saying that
I want you to address this.
I will, but I'm saying that a false story was put out that people responded to. It's unfortunate that people put out a false story.
Facts. And he bring up Murkowski like she's not a rhino anyway. But let's play this clip from the five. Starting off with Judge, what's the name? Judge, I have her book too. Judge, I can't remember her name, but I'm sorry, y'all. Let's get to the clip here.
Breaking new details as President Trump takes a blowtorch to our bloated federal government. A U.S. judge temporarily pausing the Trump administration's freeze of federal grants, loans, and other financial assistance programs. The freeze aimed to root out all the DEI and the Green New
Judge Janine, that's her name. Sorry, it finally came to me. It was bothering me. Judge Janine.
Deal nonsense that undermines our national interests. But Democrats like Chuck Schumer want to play politics and accusing the Trump administration of starving people in order to pad their pocket.
This is a dagger at the heart of the average American family in red states and blue states. Disaster assistance, local law enforcement, rural hospitals, aid to the elderly, food for people in need.
It's lies. It does not say anything about stopping money to those things. And he knows this. Schumer is a freaking a freaking idiot, man. He's a liar.
All are on the chopping block in this new administration. Why? They need tax cuts for the ultra-wealthy. This decision is lawless,
Wow.
dangerous, destructive, cruel.
New White House Press Secretary Caroline
Wow.
Leavitt wasting no time to debunk the Democrat and media hysteria over the order.
Yeah, it's simple to
This
debunk.
is not a blanket pause. It means no more funding for illegal DEI programs. It means no more funding for the Green New scam that has cost American taxpayers tens of billions of dollars. It means no more funding for transgenderism and wokeness across our federal bureaucracy and agencies. DOJ and OMB also found that there was about to be 50 million taxpayer dollars that went out the door to fund condoms in Gaza. That is a preposterous waste of taxpayer money. The
Right.
past 4 years, we've seen the Biden administration spend money like drunken sailors.
Wow. All right. 50 million on condoms in Gaza.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
Look, the pause is not across the board. It's to eliminate programs that the president promised he would eliminate, that he was elected on, and that is DEI programs. And it's pausing money only from 5 o'clock today until February 10th so that they can take a look and decide what they're going to do.
So we now know the judge that this is obviously brand new information. The judge blocking this, U.S. District Judge Lauren L. Ali Khan, is a Biden-appointed judge.
She has a lot of makeup on. I'm sorry. It's just.
Okay. I had to read through this AP article to get the update. I had to read through Trump plunged the U.S. government into panic and confusion on Tuesday. There wasn't a lot of confusion if you really read through the details of this. And Caroline Leavitt did a great job articulating this. This didn't involve or affect individual federal assistance from the government.
No.
It didn't affect the food stamps program and all of those type of things. Obviously, people need more information but the media seems to be fear-mongering a little bit here. Anyway.
That's exactly what it is. And they're still telling lies. Like, this is why no one trusts the mainstream media. This is why no one listens to CNN, MSNBC, because they take things like this and they run with it. They lie because they know most people aren't going to go and actually read the executive order for themselves and see exactly what it says. So they can come out and make these stories up, and most people are going to believe it. Because I saw people on TikTok and stuff crying, saying, "Oh, I'm not getting my food stamps and stuff." Like, it never said anything about that. What are you talking about? It's crazy.
The judge is getting in the way of this. What this entire thing told me was that, again, that this is an administration following through on its promises, and that they understand that we've got to cut back, and we've got to start somewhere, and they've got to get aggressive, because you can't just do this bit by bit in small batches. I think this still be a major roadblock for them, but I don't think they're not gonna quit, they're not gonna tire, and they're gonna keep going. But this is a strong message that they sent, starting this out in week 2 of the administration.
And Jesse, there was a judge who put a freeze on it, and then a judge paused the freeze. So, but this is a funding phase that they're looking at that does not involve money that goes to individuals. As Caroline Leavitt made very clear, it's not Social Security, it's not Medicare, it's not money to SNAP, it's not money that goes to individuals. It's like for the Green New Deal programs and for foreign aid.
So you're saying the media and the Democrats overreacted?
Yeah, I think Chuck Schumer's a little over the top today.
So
He's lying.
Everybody's getting the money. This is like if I took over as CEO of Fox. I wouldn't change programming. You could still see Gutfeld at 10, see the 5 at 5. But I would make sure some things changed that aligned with my priorities.
Like what? What would you get rid of, Jesse? Go for it.
Perhaps some pilots on Fox Nation might be shelved temporarily.
Interesting.
Perhaps the D.C. car service was paused until we found out who was taking cars to West Virginia. And maybe the Fox weather people might not be getting that new studio until we could get costs down.
Do you know that this is public? Like what we're doing right now?
It's an analogy. You get it. You're still going to be able to watch programming.
Do you think Fox and Friends is too long?
It's going to 2 hours now. But this is what they're doing. They're all freaking out, but you're still going to be able to watch the news, Jessica. And can you believe, Judge, 50 million for condoms in
sounds
Gaza?
reasonable
That's
to
just
me.
crazy.
I
By
ran the
way,
numbers.
Who's in Gaza?
There's less people by
The
the day.
largest concentration of childhood amputees in the world are in
Yeah,
Gaza.
thanks.
But
That means
no
Yeah.
condoms.
Yeah,
that
but
means
you're in favor of
1,000 condoms
Israel.
per man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
1,000 condoms.
Are they worried about safe sex? Because you know what they're doing with the condoms?
No.
They're making condom bombs. That's right. Hamas floats these things up with bomb-making materials and then kaboom. Booby-trapped condom. Look it up.
What?
It's a dual-use technology. Thank God they
Wow.
got rid of that.
Wait a
I don't
second.
even know what to
Wow.
say. Jessica, would you like to respond to that?
Absolutely
That's
not.
crazy.
I would not like to respond to that. Sandra, you said there's no confusion. There's widespread confusion in all 50 states across the country. I mean, Caroline Leavitt would have us believe that it's just a wild coincidence that they initiated an across-the-board freeze and the Medicaid portals have gone down everywhere. Do you know what that's like to go to log in, to access the
They're
system,
back up,
and it's
right,
all
to be
shut down?
clear?
Well, we
I
do,
don't think
'cause
actually they are
that happened
back
with
up.
Obamacare.
She also didn't.
Catherine Sebelius.
Oh,
Remember her?
Yeah, I do. But the Obama administration didn't initiate an across-the-board freeze. Then, by the way, she also didn't know how to answer whether 72 million Americans still had their health care. She said, ask the unconfirmed head of OMB. What's going on is that President Trump doesn't like sharing power with anyone else. He thinks that Congress is irrelevant and he wants to run all over us. He doesn't believe in the separation of powers. He doesn't care that
Is she talking about separation of powers with Trump when when Biden would get orders from the Supreme Court and he would totally ignore them? Like, what is she talking about right now? How many executive orders did Biden do when he was in office? Like, these leftists are weird, yo.
Congress appropriates money and that actually is meaningful. These are three co-equal branches. So we already talked about Medicaid. What about the Head Start pop-ups that people are getting when they're trying to access funds? You think that doesn't affect individuals, low-income families that have their kids in school? You've got school lunches getting cut. And then Congressman Rich McCormick, who was on with Pam Brown, embarrassing himself, saying, no, school lunches, no big deal. These kids should go out and get a job, stop mooching off the government. Do you know who gets school lunches?
Well, nobody
agrees with
Did anybody
that.
miss
Nobody
lunch today?
agrees with
What?
that.
Did anybody miss lunch today?
Well, I actually didn't get a lot to eat. Okay,
You know what?
opioid prevention funding, suicide prevention funding, HIV/AIDS treatment. They're just throwing crap at the wall and seeing what sticks. You guys didn't say anything on the DEI front at DOD. Did you see when they, for a few hours, took down the promotional video about the Tuskegee Airmen?
I can't believe you're bringing that up.
I am bringing it up because when people pay no attention to the details.
That was on purpose.
Really?
Yes, you
Yeah,
know
you
it.
should
That's
tell
why it was
Senator
totally
Katie Britt that.
reversed.
And
Oh,
what
you're better
about
than that,
firing
Jessica.
18
Oh my
inspectors general? So now you have Dick Durbin and
I
Chuck
think
Grassley.
that's a great idea.
Well, guess
You know
what? It's illegal. They didn't give the 30
really?
days.
How about
How about-
indicting President Trump on non-crimes?
How about you just
wanna
not play
talk
this
about
game?
let's
Judge,
stick with
you
the
are a
topic.
lady of the law.
That
Congress
this
gets 30
is a
days
different
to
topic.
evaluate. But this
He
is
gave him
about
10 days, 13
Trump
days.
is executing a power grab.
No,
he
he
is
isn't.
waiting
All
for
right,
people
Greg,
to smack him
what do
on
you
the
wanna
wrist
say?
and tell him
This
to
goes
stop.
back to what I said before. You had somebody like Hegseth who's making some very practical solutions, and you go, Tuskegee. And it's no, that was designed to do that, and they caught it. And that's when with the lack of ideas, that's all you could do. You brought up three co-equal branches, and I'm glad you did.
Me too.
I believe that they are the executive, the legislative, and the judicial, Jesse.
Very good.
Yes.
But that's not what this is about. This is about three other branches: the legislative, the administrative, and the regulatory. You know, we do make laws in the legislative branch, but almost all of the thousands and thousands of rules that we are pummeled with are regulations, laws that are never voted on. Instead, are created on behalf of the administrative arm, a bloating tumor of rent-seeking survivalists who are only interested in feathering their nest. So when you hear the outrage, you are hearing the monster in fear, crying that they may lose 5%. Oh my God, they might get 2% off. Look, the people freaking out about the freeze, they didn't spend one moment freaking about the thing that is going to destroy us, debt. Trillions and trillions and trillions. That's the cliff we're heading at. We're not spending like a drunken sailor. We're spending like the whole damn destroyer.
How much did Trump add to the debt?
Next,
I don't know how much.
I think like 8 trillion.
Well,
were you mad then?
Yeah. Why do you do
Yeah.
that? Why do you do that?
Why do you do that? Why are you the way you are?
Up next, John Fetterman.
I love it. I love it. They trying everything to try to come for Trump. It's crazy that they have to make stuff up like this because they don't really have anything tangible. So they have to make up stories and say, oh, people aren't going to get their SNAP. They're not going to get their federal assistance. They're not going to get their federal. No, it's only for this DEI woke stuff, the transgender stuff, aid overseas. He's putting a freeze on those things. They're just being deceitful. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.